all of you know, we are going to share a little bit about how to get promoted. And I hope that that title kind of enticed you to be curious and to come. And so today Morgan will be presenting on that, and we will try to, we will definitely be ending before noon, but I know if you need to leave as you need to leave based on your work schedule, that's totally fine. And then, yeah, feel free to ask questions. We do want it to be interactive, so we hope that everyone will participate. Part of our meeting structure that we like to stand by is the SOT3, which is start on time, stay on time, and stop on time. So for this meeting, we started with lunch, and we did reserve it for it to be an hour, but the training portion will be about 30 to 45 minutes as needed, and there'll be some extra time afterwards if you want to mingle or ask questions and go from there. So we will jump right in on how to get promoted.
Okay. Hi guys.
Hello.
Thank you for coming. I hope you enjoyed lunch. Like I said, I'm Morgan, if you don't know who I am. I am going over the topic of how can I get promoted. Because who doesn't want to get promoted, make more money, and better yourselves. But if you are familiar with Salvation Army, you know getting promoted isn't always the easiest here. We are an equal opportunity corporation, meaning that there's an opening and James wants to get promoted to that position, he still has to apply. Ollie can apply. Christina can apply. Jason can apply. So that being said, a promotion isn't like if I'm James's boss and I say, James, you're promoted, that just doesn't happen here at Salvation Army. Again, it's equal opportunity. So what is the importance of career advancements and personal growth? Just anybody want to give me any importance? Like, what do you think why do you think it's important? For your professional career or personal? Anybody?
Keep bettering yourself.
Yeah, keep bettering yourself. For growth, obviously for salary, more pay. To increase opportunities, essentially a better quality of life, because if we continue to grow and we can grow professionally as well, that means more money, which means the quality of life can potentially be that much better, because again, we are making more money, and that can help us in the long run. Okay, so I am actually going to have us do an exercise. It's called the SWOT analysis. So while I'm passing these out, I'd like you guys to think about your jobs currently. What are your roles, your responsibilities, and what does your job involve? And then we will go through the analysis together, one letter at a time. Yes, so we're going to go through each quadrant. It's called the SWOT analysis.
Okay.
So if you look here, I kind of broke it down on what each letter means. Like I said, we're going to go into each square and have time to write down. Do you need me to zoom in? Can you see it?
Can I go grab my glasses?
Yeah, go for it.
I only work on water seat.
Okay, well, we'll wait for James. I'll just kind of like briefly go over it. So it's SWOT. Have any of you heard of this before? You've heard of it, Ollie? Great. It's a good tool to use not just in the workplace, but also like at home. So I actually ran through this presentation at home with my siblings and my family. And I had them each do it, like my little brother's terrible at laundry. So I had them do a SWOT analysis on how are we going to get better at doing our laundry. And it was so simple for him. And I'm someone who's a visual person as well as like a hands-on person. So I need to write it down and then I can do the action and like check it off. I'm definitely a list person as well. So I found this was really helpful. And super quick, because if you're out, you can just jot down a square and SWOT and do a really good day. So S is for strengths. So that's basically anything in your job that you're strong at. So some of us are good at communicating, some of us are good at computers. If you're a teacher, you have a good imagination, you're good at setting teaching week and crafts, activities. For finance, they use a lot of Excel spreadsheets, so they probably know a lot of formulas where they're probably not so much on the phone, so they're probably not the best at using cell phones or switch phones here. Weaknesses, those are going to be obviously things that you need help on. You're probably not the greatest at. Some people are not tech savvy, some people are super tech savvy. James is definitely like a hands-on builder, so he's probably not, his strong point is probably not emailing, which we already discovered that. Right, James?
But I'm getting that. I'm probably in a month.
O is for opportunities. So like a lunch and learn is an opportunity for you to grow and expand your knowledge. Praise has other trainings. So for the supervisors, there's the hour-long trainings. There's prior training, which I don't know if you guys are familiar with. Salvation Army provides a platform where you can take trainings from how to dress business casual to how to use Microsoft 360, how to handle difficult people. There's a bunch of trainings. Some of them are 2 minutes, some of them are hours, some of them are weeks. Some of them are actually, I think, like webinars. I haven't personally taken a webinar. Have you taken a webinar, Chris?
Yes. So webinars are nice because you can just do it at your own time. You can also assign courses that you are interested in. So everyone can access prior if you request a login through HR. And with that, you can set up different, you can look, I think there's like 5,000 plus training courses on there on different subjects, different categories, on communication, like we're gonna say customer service, on technical skills like computer skills, there's certain marketing skills, administrative skills, there's so many in there. So you can go and just select the ones that you're interested in, and you can even put deadlines for yourself. And what I'm gonna be encouraging supervisors to do is actually to go in there and assign specific courses that they feel their staff could benefit from. And give them a due date. Because as all of you should know, one of our SMART goals that we all should have in Orange County is to complete 16 hours of professional development training for this upcoming year. That's our goal for the whole county. That is that we are all pursuing to take training courses and really emphasizing that this upcoming year. So whether you are in the teaching field or in customer service or in facilities and maintenance, I don't know how much like hands-on, like maintenance type trainings there are, but as far as like other trainings on people skills, on problem solving skills, the list goes on and on. So I just want to say just to add on to Morgan's thing is to take advantage of that because it's free for you guys, it's free for all of our staff. And the more you take advantage of it and the more you utilize the trainings that's out there and the different opportunities, and it's only really benefiting yourself. This is for your own professional development and growth that you can take with you. These are soft and hard skills that can benefit you to become a greater asset to the company and to your team. So that's one way, it's a prior as well as any other training opportunities that you find within your department, from your supervisor. And also I think self-initiative is a big thing too. If you're interested in learning something and wanting to enhance that area, search online. There's tons of free trainings that you can look up, and once you find stuff that you like, the algorithm of the internet and AI will feed you more of those and send those your way, and that's what I've been finding as well. So if I want to continue learning HR, once I kind of keep clicking on certain things, more will be sent to me. So again, it's also in your initiative of how much you want to dive into your own professional development. So.
Yeah. And then for T, it's threats. So Praise mentioned AI. So I think AI is definitely something that in every aspect, no matter if you're facilities, finance, teachers, anti-trafficking, case manager, I think AI is helpful, but also, it is advancing. So to keep an eye on that and utilize it to your advantage. So something as simple as going on ChatGPT and putting in, I need a lesson plan that includes swimming for 5 days. I mean, AI can literally spit that out for you and give you a lesson plan that includes each day of like a swimming water activity. So definitely look into, the threats and the issues that AI can pose, as well as like other advancements. So like there's social media, there's all kinds of things that can also pose threats to your current positions.
Can you say that again? Would you say ChatGPT?
ChatGPT.
GPT.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, you can put in like the tone you want it in. You can put in types of grammar you want. So if it's like the crowd is children, you can put in like kid grammar, or it literally will do everything for you. Are you showing her, Ollie?
Yeah.
We could probably have like a full-on training just
We
on
could,
the
on
ChatGPT, but
yeah.
we'll do that next time.
Okay, so we're gonna start with S. I'm gonna give everybody like a minute or so to just kind of jot down their strengths. So in the S box, remember, these are your strengths, so responsibilities that you excel in at your current position. Go ahead and make a list of tasks of your current role and put those in your S box. So I'll give you like a minute or so. You're doing it. James is good at not
Resting.
Is that part of your work? Resting?
Should be, we need breaks.
Oh, yeah, you need breaks, you got breaks are necessary.
Very good, 15-minute breaks. It's a huge strength.
So some strengths could be like analytical skills, so you're good at data. It could be that you take initiative. It could be your communication skills. It could be that you're able to effectively convey messages to your counterparts. It could be that you're prompt with your emails. It could be, like for James, since he does facilities, it could be something as simple as like you can finish a task quicker than it's supposed to be done.
I'll put that down.
You can,
Sorry.
yeah, something as simple as that. Does anybody want to share just one or two strengths?
I know right off the bat, I think one of your strengths is attention to detail. That is definitely a strength of mine.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, and then working at UTS and having different clientele and the do's and don'ts and what they like and don't like and different cases, I'm sure that really pays off for your position. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm good with working with volunteers that Oliver sends me, and then I'm also good with the vendors that come in with a one-on-one, getting them to know what needs to be done and everything like that.
Yeah, so like personable skills, so you're good dealing with people and communicating with them. That's good, yeah. Go ahead, Liz.
Adapting. So my job has kind of changed a lot. I've had a lot of programs. It has changed a lot, and so I have to change with it. So it's definitely a strength of mine because I have to go with that flow. And also facilitate workflow. I've been behind a lot of things since I started. When I first started my jobs, I started from behind. So catching up has always been a thing. So expediting that workflow was necessary.
Adaptability, that's a good one. I think people don't give themselves enough credit for being able to adapt. I think especially in like a lot of the positions here at Salvation Army, because we are dealing with the people, that we have to be able to, go from one task to another. Even with children, you don't know what kind of day they're gonna have, and they come in and you're like, okay, well, we were gonna do this, and now we gotta switch and do this. So yeah, adaptability is definitely something that me, myself, in my position as well, and I'm here for praise because we are HR, so we could be on one task, but then we're needed here, like we're able to just switch over to and put on a different hat for whatever it is that we're needed for. Okay, so weaknesses. Now, I personally don't like to talk about what I'm not good at, and I don't know anybody who likes to talk about what they're not good at, or so I find this to be the hardest part of the SWOT analysis for me, because who wants to talk about their flaws? So I encourage you to be honest with yourself. Again, this is your paper, but write down your weaknesses, and I put some questions here to ask yourself in case you get a little stumped. And You don't have to share them, but if you would like to share weaknesses, you're more than welcome to. But go ahead and I'll give you like a couple seconds to write down some weaknesses. So some examples that I have would be difficulty prioritizing tasks, which is definitely something that I struggle with myself. I tend to not keep in mind like the amount of time a task will take me and just do what's going to be like the fastest for me, when sometimes the fastest isn't what needs to be done first. It's there's other things that are more important than what I can do faster. So for me, I definitely have learned to write down my tasks and with due dates and times, so that way I can give myself kind of a timeline, an idea of what needs to be done. Another one is deadlines. I know like DHQ asks a lot from us for deadlines, but it's like us asking you guys. So like for me and Paris, we'll create our own deadline, but then we give you a deadline, but then DHQ has their deadline. So for me, it's like how can us as a team get our deadlines on time and completed to the fullest. So that's something that I definitely like has been on my mind on like how do we do that without like, hey James, if you get it done by Monday, I'll give you a candy. Like I know incentives are always good, but sometimes we don't have the needs to give everybody an incentive. Like there's a deadline. How do we achieve it without having to like do this and you get this? So that's difficult too, because again, we do have different departments, so getting people to get things into us is also difficult. So as an HR team, I think that's one of our main weaknesses, is like trying to figure out how can we get everybody to reach a deadline. Does anybody want to share any of their weaknesses? Go for it.
My communication skills, sometimes I tend to over-explain to people that really don't care. And I'm learning those types of people. So, I have to, because I'm one, if I can figure it out, why can't I explain for them to figure it out? And a lot of times they're really, so I'm learning that, it's something that I'm learning.
Right. That's good. Yeah, that's good.
I share one. I think I'm impatient sometimes. Like I get tunnel vision and I have a goal in mind and, I'm very, let's get this done. And I realize that I need to like stop sometimes and maybe get some more input or maybe, you know what I mean?
Right.
So I'm just like, okay, we got a goal, let's do it.
Yeah, I think that kind of goes with the working genius, the tenacity part of it, because I myself am the same way.
Yeah.
There's an end goal and I just want to get to it.
Right.
Where I don't keep into account like, roadblocks may happen or there's other things that need to happen for us to get to that point. So I can totally understand where you're coming from. I definitely am too very impatient. But yeah, I think that's good that you notice it, because I think too, if we can't acknowledge what our weaknesses are, we can't work on them.
Right.
So thank you for that. Yeah.
Time management, procrastination. So it kind of goes along with failing to meet deadlines, I guess. And that, it involves prioritizing things that probably shouldn't be as high of a priority. And the other one would be like harsh self-criticism. So I get to like, not to the point of perfectionism, but like, if I miss my deadline, then I might be a little bit harder on myself when I really don't have to be. And I think that's where like Caleb can kind of help with it too.
Yeah. Anybody else want to share? Yeah.
My weakness is saying no. Because a lot of times they ask me, can you do it? Can you do it? Yes, I'm an overachiever. Yeah, I can do it. I can do it.
Right.
But then sometimes I gotta be able to say, no, I'm overwhelmed with what I have to do now. So just setting those boundaries and saying no has been something I've been working on, because I know that say no, it's very hard for me.
Yeah, and I think Salvation Army, because we are so for the people, and helping, no is like a hard part of all of our vocabulary. Because yeah, if I could do it, of course I'm gonna say yes, but not realizing what's on my plate already. So yes, keeping that in mind is good, and it's good for you to acknowledge and know like no needs to come out of my mouth a little bit more. Yeah.
And I think a good point that like Louis made is how like sometimes like so Caleb helped you realize certain things and helped you in one of the areas of your weakness. I think it's great when you have that kind of a relationship with your manager or supervisor as well as colleagues within your team, so that we can be open and honest about it to help us grow in our self-awareness. Because if we're not aware of what our weaknesses are or what our shortcomings are, then we can't improve in those areas. We can't work on those areas. So if you have a team, if you have a few trusted people that you've build that rapport with, whether it's your manager, whether it's a friend at work, or just on a personal level, close friends or families who can speak into that, I think as long as we are willing to hear that and able to then take that well and to turn it around to then say, okay, this is an area I can work on, so I can keep improving those areas. I think that's the self-reflection part that we can do, right? So that's great.
Okay, so opportunities. These are external or internal factors that can give you growth and development. So, for example, a lunch and learn. The prior training that we've gone over, and SMART goals. I think that when it comes to SMART goals, yes, it is tedious to do. But I think if we really were to do SMART goals the way that they're supposed to be done, and be intentional about the goals that we want to achieve, and critiquing ourselves in the self-evaluations, you can utilize that to, again, point out where you need to work and your growth, and how to achieve those goals by taking opportunities to do so. So opportunities don't necessarily need to be courses. It can be going to your supervisor and asking like, I'm struggling in this area, can you help me? It could be going to your coworker and saying, hey Ollie, I don't know how to use Excel and I need to get this spreadsheet done, do you know a faster way to do it? I know for us in the office, because we are in such an open area, it's easy to just, hey, I need help. Cindy's on the phone and she doesn't know how to transfer a call. Morgan, can you show me how to transfer a call? So I think if we're leaning on each other as well, there's opportunities for us to learn and essentially for that person to also learn, because you may know something that they don't. So I encourage you to use the free trainings, talk to your coworkers, talk to your supervisors, and like Praise mentioned earlier, the free online seminars that you may see when you're scrolling through TikTok or Instagram, or if you're on Facebook. Those are there to use and to learn and to grow. As well as ChatGPT, like again, you can throw in any question you want and it can give you an answer. So those are all good tools to use and ways for you to better yourself. Okay, so now we're on T for threat. This one I did struggle a little bit in just because I feel that I do my best to stay in the loop with like advancements as far as technology. But what I don't take into account is someone coming in who has more education, more experience, that has more knowledge than myself. So that is definitely a threat when it comes to like positions, just someone coming in who is more well-rounded, but as well as like, technological advances, industry threats, economic factors, so like, is there a recession? Are there budget cuts? Is there room for my position? Like those are all things to keep in account when you are in your position. So going back to my brother with the laundry, his threats were, well, I'd rather sleep, or there's not enough time because I need to go to the gym. But then I'm like, Joseph, you have to make time for these things. and you can sleep after you start the laundry. So if the washer takes an hour, then guess what? You can nap for an hour. You know, so finding the balance of like, how do I use the threat to my advantage is also another way to look at this as well. Does anybody want to share threats? No threats, okay.
I'll share one.
Yeah.
I wrote down staff shortage. And that increases my caseload, so it decreases my ability to be an effective case manager for all my clients. That makes me have to spread myself thin.
So the burnout is definitely something that I think you want to be careful of and aware of. So yeah, definitely being understaffed is definitely something that can be a threat to you, not only you, but your corporation and who you're working for. So this is a little quote that I found. Setting and achieving goals can lead to rewards across every part of your life. So basically, what this quote really fits the SWOT analysis because, like I said, it can be used in any platform, personal or professional. And this is really just to prepare you for the next growth and development opportunity that is presented to you. Because Salvation Army, like I said, is not necessarily like you're promoted, but when that opportunity does present itself, you can have the prepared readiness by using the SWOT analysis, checking your SMART goals, doing what you need to do to make yourself that much better. So a few takeaways to be show initiative. So like I said, so in these positions you want to show initiative. So finding new opportunities, coming up with new ideas. Like for HR, for instance, you know, we were working on files when I first started here. So just taking the opportunity to start on a file and then working with praise, like, oh, should we have sub-files in the files? You know, just to make things easier for us. I think showing initiative also shows your supervisor that you want to be here, that you want to grow, and then that makes them want to pour more into you because, you know, you want to be excited to work. You want to be seen as like a hungry employer. And I think Patrick uses that a lot, like he looks for hungry people. So if you want to learn and you're taking that step, I think as supervisor, that's definitely something that I would look for and want to go to those people for those things. Your resources, so like the trainings that we're doing, again, the prior training. If you're not familiar and you want to get on there, please email Praise or myself so we can get you signed up for prior training. Again, using your coworkers, taking classes, internal or external classes, and you want to communicate your value. You want to go to your supervisor and you're going to want to, you know, where can I do better? How can I do better? Can you help me? I know Grace and I are very intentional about having one-on-one meetings each week. And that just helps me, and I think it helps her kind of gauge like where I'm at. If Praise needs more from me, if I need more from Praise, if I'm struggling in an area, if I need assistance, or like this is too much for me. So to establish that relationship with your supervisor or even your coworker, I think that's a good tool to use when you want to grow and develop. So essentially, the SWOT analysis, again, is just to prepare you for the next steps. Again, this isn't really on how to get promoted, but more so prepare readiness for the next best thing. All right. That's it.
I just want to add to everything that Morgan has said. I think when we wanted to start off by saying, you know, the Salvation Army is an equal opportunity employer. Just to let you know, within our internal organization, we do have internal restrictions and limitations when it comes to how we make decisions, how employees can move up or advance, and that's a reality that we are aware of and that we've accepted. As in, you we have to navigate through navigate those in a particular way within our organization. It's different from other organizations where the common, understanding would be like, oh, if I do really well and I can show that I'm a high performer, I mean all the different metrics for my positions, and if I'm excelling and going above and beyond and advancing, then I should be promoted next, right? That's kind of the common understanding of it. For us, it is a little bit different, but it's not to say that there aren't opportunities for advancement. You can talk to a lot of employees here who have been growing in their positions within their departments, or even crossing over to different programs and departments. And if you want to talk to any of those, just to hear from their experience, I'll be happy to share like who has gone through those experiences, just so that you can maybe talk to them, just to learn some and gain some insight. I'm happy to share my experience working here for 15, 16 years now. I know Joseph's been with the organization for almost 10 years now too, and we have employees who've been with us for a long time. And the one thing I will say is, I will guarantee you 100% that no one worked for the Salvation Army for a paycheck. Right? If salary was your top priority, no one would be working for the Salvation Army. So we all know that everyone who works here, we all work here for the mission and for making a difference in people's lives and helping others. And that's what motivates all of us, right? So I think that's a common understanding that we all know that everyone who works for the Salvation Army, we all want to do this because we want to make a difference. We want to help. We want to give back. We want to change lives. We want to be part of that transforming lives mission. And so whatever that looks like for you in your work, in your area, I know we all kind of play a different role. So I know that pay and salary is not the number one priority for all of us, but it is an important part of work, because we also need to pay bills and make ends meet and have a lifestyle that we have and want to sustain that. And so it's not to say to discourage you, saying that there's no way to promote. We just have to navigate in our own way within the Salvation Army. However, this will be a great tool for you. And I think a starting place for you to think intentionally about how can I be ready? What can I do? Because what you have control over is what steps you take to grow professionally, right? And to be ready for an opportunity that may come up, or that could come up in the near future, or that you could discuss with your managers and see and have a plan, like a roadmap. Whether it's within our organization to grow and move up, or whether it's to help prepare you for maybe something else that has to be outside of our organization, because we are also limited in the different opportunities that we can offer, and we are aware of that. Of course, we want to keep our employees that are contributing, and we want to keep and value our staff, and we don't want to lose any of our good talents, and that's a given. But we also are aware that we all have limitations within our organizations as well. So one way we can invest into our staff and to show that we value each one of our staff is to provide trainings, is to provide ways that you can grow professionally and hopefully personally through your experience with the Salvation Army, right? And that whenever your time with us may end, you can look back and say, you know what, I know I have to move on to my next opportunity, but I knew that I grew with the Salvation Army. I knew that I gained X, Y, and Z while I was with the Salvation Army. And I can take that to the next chapter of my life. Or whether you stay with us and you're a lifer with the Salvation Army and you stay with us for 20, 30 years, that's great. But we hope that even when you do look back at your journey, you can say, I grew within my tenure with the Salvation Army throughout the years and throughout the trainings, throughout the opportunities that I was given. And so we want to show that we want to invest in you because we value you as our employees and and as the people who make the work happen within the Salvation Army. And what we can do within our control is to provide the opportunities to grow and learn, whether it's through each other, whether it's through sessions like this, or through your the initiatives that you may take within your positions. And so it is to encourage you to say that there are opportunities, there are ways to go about it. And so this was training that we wanted to show so that to encourage you to find ways where you have control over your own professional development, and to be mindful of it, to be intentional about it, and to use that as a motivating factor to continue to grow. Okay, so I hope that makes